Right, hello and welcome to Cushy TV, always the straight talking YouTube channel, where my specialist subjects are of course boxing because I'm an ex-boxer, and of course golf because I'm an ex-golfer. You don't have to be a golfer or a boxer to talk that stuff, but they're my specialist subjects, and I do interview people of all other interests. So today's topic is the Heavyweight Championship of the World, Wembley of course, just up the road, the northwest of the city, and it's between the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury from Manchester, and the Jamaican-born Londoner, Whyte. I think we've adopted him now as a Londoner. I'm sure he's proud to have both roots. He's trying to work on his Cockney language. I quite like Dillian, good fighter. The Body Snatcher. Can the Body Snatcher snatch the titles of the Gypsy King? Well, that's open for debate and opinions. Of course, I'm a journalist and I'm going to touch on that subject today. But to give us some insight and opinions, earlier today via FaceTime, an old friend and sparring partner of mine, he's been a professional cornerman of Tyson Fury, Gypsy George Carmen, had phoned in through FaceTime and given me his opinion, and yes, you can sit back and listen to the Gypsy George Carmen opinion as I give George got an intro on there and whatnot, so that'll explain itself, and then hear what the former cornerman and also a fellow friend of Anthony Joshua has to say about the fight. Let's listen into that and I'll come back and give you my opinion. Hello George, and thank you for taking your time out. I know that you're in North London today doing some business. Thanks for ringing into the studio today. How is everything? All the family good?
Yeah, really good, Joe. Yeah, lovely day today out here in this gives like Watford. A really, really good day.
Good man.
Nice.
That's what.
All good.
That's what we like to hear. For the viewers at home, George Carmen, Gypsy George Carmen, is a former professional cruiserweight and heavyweight boxer. He has challenged for 5 titles. He's been the distance with 2 world champions, respectively, the brilliant Johnny Nelson and Glenn McCrory. So for you viewers at home, George knows a bit about what he's talking. George, I'm going to start by asking you, tell me, how many times did you corner Tyson Fury as a professional? Was it 4?
I believe it's about 4 times, yeah.
Yeah, so you've been in the camp with, it was then what, Peter Fury and Hughie Fury, his uncle? Yeah, and what was, they must have been exciting times, George, to have in camp the champion of the world. Must have been good.
Yeah, it was a privilege to be, just to be a part of his journey, building up in his when he was started. I was there when he won the British title. Was a very, very good, a good day, and for me, just to be a part of it at that time.
Yeah, I bet it was, mate. Yeah, and just for the viewers at home, we all paint pictures from the press. And how nice a bloke is he? What sort of character is Tyson Fury?
Tyson Fury's a gentleman. He come down my home. I got him some sparring actually. He needed some sparring. He come down and met us, and he had time with us in my place, him and his family. And we went up and we sparred Anthony Joshua. Yeah. I went down I think it was just in Finchley way. Yeah. In Sean Murphy's gym. Yeah. And handled him quite easily. Good spar. But Tyson got out on top in my eyes, at the end of the day, and I'm not biased because at the time I knew both of them very well. I knew Andy very well. He was a good up-and-coming star, and Tyson Fury was a young man at the same time. And then spar, Tyson went there with no head guard at the time. I actually led him a head guard.
Yeah, old school, no head guard.
And it was a good spar.
George, let me just touch, when you say bias, right, we're both gypsies, as of course is Tyson Fury, so we're all so we're naturally rooting for El Man, but being what people don't understand with the sport of boxing, we do give respect out to all fighters. Now whilst we're talking bias, what chance and of course he's the first and last heavyweight championships Gem Mace, Gypsy champion. What chance, going way back historically, what chance do you give, without being biased, Dillian Whyte of beating Tyson Fury? And if so, what chance you give him? How would he do it?
Well, Dillian Whyte's got to do it inside 3 rounds. Everybody's got a puncher's chance in the heavyweights, you know that, Joe. You know, there's always a puncher's chance, but I don't really see it going after 7.
Yeah.
I think Tyson to get hold of him, the first 3 rounds will probably be a bit difficult. Tyson to get hold of him and chop him up with the jab and straight shots as he's coming in, and I believe he'll finish him inside 7.
Yeah. Well, so you give Dillian Whyte the puncher's chance, who seems a very likeable bloke. Have you met Dillian Whyte?
Dillian Whyte, I've met him a couple of times. I've seen him fight. I've been in the gym when he's been in the gym with, I think it was, Jimmy Tibbs' son, Mark Tibbs, I believe.
Yeah.
I see him training. Didn't really take a lot of notice. He's just if I could say what he's like, I think he's like a poor Danny Williams. He's better when Danny Williams at his best.
So you don't see him in the league. I mean, the only thing that puts some doubt in my mind of his chances is when Tyson Fury completely and utterly schooled Derek Chisora, and that's going back some as well, and he made very difficult work of Del Boy Chisora, didn't he? It was a very close fight, actually. So yeah, so I can see some potential league gaps there, but different styles make different fights, eh?
Yeah, speed will be the key for the fight, I believe. I believe speed will be too fast for Chisora. Dillian Whyte, the same as was with Chisora. When he fought Chisora the second time, he boxed him and he just threw loads of shots in bunches and he stopped him, didn't he? So I believe that will be the key.
Yeah.
If he gets involved with a swinging match, well, then obviously anything can happen. But you never know what's going to happen with Tyson. You know that he fights a different game plan every time. He seems to find a way to win. Yeah,
you've obviously been in camp with him. You've been, as you said, you've been privileged to have cornered him. He's a friend of yours. Tell me, what shape? I've seen him in the press conference. By his facial appearance, he looks in great shape. What do you think?
I only put my trust in like Tyson. I know even on a bad night in the office, a great fighter finds a way to win.
Yeah.
With Tyson Fury, a bad night in the office with Dillian Whyte will still find a way to win. If it's a bad night.
Yeah.
If he's in the shape of his life, if he comes in and does what he can do, I can't see it going over 6 rounds.
Yeah, that's a lot of people's opinion. Just before we sign off, I know you're a busy man. On the Mike Tyson, I said, on the great Tyson Fury. I'm an ex-boxer as well, George, remember. On the Tyson Fury mannerisms that we see on camera, he seems calm, joking, laughing about. Of course, he puts his overalls on. When the go button goes, he means it. But how relaxed is he in the dressing rooms, etc.? Or does he change? Is that just for media stuff? How relaxed is Tyson Fury when it's fight time?
Tyson Fury, honestly, he's just so relaxed all the while. He is a relaxed person. That's what makes him fight so good, I believe. He's got no nerves. When he gets in there, obviously he turns on the mode. He focuses. He's got focus, but he's so relaxed. The speed, the movement, and that's why I can't see him getting beat. I believe he's a great fighter.
Yeah.
He's not just an ordinary fighter. He's a great fighter. The first time I see Tyson Fury, I said he'd be a world champion. Yeah. The first time I see Anthony Joshua, I said he'd be a world champion.
Yeah, George.
World champions.
So that wasn't a bad prediction, George. Just before we sign off, just to let the public out there know that people like ourselves, whilst we're rooting for our champion, as we all agree, to let people know you're not too biased. One of his arch rivals, that in the way of Anthony Joshua, didn't you go to court to look after and protect his young career back in the day?
I did. I actually picked him up, took him to get him a sponsorship deal.
Yeah.
things didn't work out as we planned.
Yeah.
I went for him. I wrote a letter. I went to court for him. Drove down to, I believe it was Finchley or Barnet or one of them.
Yeah.
And took a letter into court for him and was in his corner, obviously, because he was going to Olympics, and he let and he got off, thank God. He went on. I was there when he won Olympic gold medal. I was ringside.
Really? Oh, that was great then. So you had some satisfaction there, because of course he got involved when this. It's widely known. It's no secret. He got involved as a kid with a drug rat, didn't he? Involved with supplying some drugs, and people like yourself were pleading for his leniency for a chance to pursue his career. That was about the story, wasn't it?
Well, that was it. I'm totally against drugs. I've never done drugs. I don't believe in drugs, right? I'm not for drugs, but everybody deserves a chance in life. I've had chances in life. So a man gave me a chance years ago. I messed up when I was a young boy.
Yeah.
I took him with both hands, and I believe Andy's took him with both hands, and it's good to see.
Good. Well, I know
he deserves the chance.
I know you're a man of faith and of Christian faith, and I know that you believe in people having an opportunity, and a certain Jesus Christ died for our sins. So you very much believe in another chance, and you helped giving young Anthony Joshua that. So I think that's good message out there to let people know there's not too much bias here against Whyte whilst we're rooting for our champion, but we do think he will win. Yeah.
I believe he'll win.
Okay, so that's George's take and opinion, and you've of course got some insight there how he protected Anthony Joshua from his drugs case back in the day. He was found walking to the gymnasium, I believe, with some drugs in his bag. It's no secret, it's common knowledge, and a fairly lengthy prison sentence loomed, but with the help of people like George Carmen, he could see a clear talent in the young Anthony Joshua, and of course he lent an hand. He thought his duties would be better in boxing than in prison. And of course that was an interesting insight that he's been there with the man himself, Tyson Fury, whilst being British champion, and his demeanour as a person and what it's all about in camp, dressing room, etc. come go time, and George's opinion. Well, it'll be very interesting to see, as you're listening, what your opinion is. I'd like to get some feedback on what you think. You click subscribe, like, but give me some feedback here. Of course I need your subscribers, let's get it real. I need that, and I'll keep these conversations coming, and phone-ins and debates and all the bits that go with it. I'll keep it coming. You keep on clicking subscribing, but give me some. I want some banter. I want your opinion. My opinion I'm going to give you now, but I want your opinion. My opinion is, yes, I do like Dillian Whyte. He's come from a tough background, and he's made it, and he fights with his art. He's got a big art, and he's got a big punch, and he's more savvy. I tell you now, he's more savvy. When I notice his ring savvy come to light for me is when he beat Joseph Parker. I think if he had not used the savvy, I think he was a step ahead of Parker there. I'm a big fan of Parker's, but I think he was a step ahead of Parker in the fight craft, the actual fight game, the elbows, the roughing up. If you look back, he actually hits Parker with, I think it's a right hook, and actually glances and misses and follows through with the elbow. And I personally think there's some deliberation there. Am I calling you a dirty fighter, Dylan? Maybe not to your face, but yes, I am. I think he roughed up Parker there, and he will try to rough up Fury. There's no doubt about that. And he does have a puncher's chance. He has a big art. He got over the defeat of Povetkin. Yeah, okay, he has a decent chin, but he can be knocked out. But for me, for all the Whyte fans there, am I being biased? No, I'm just saying what I see. Of course, if Dillian Whyte turned over the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, I wouldn't have a month of work, and I very much doubt that Tyson Fury would, because the better man would have won on the day. But of course, I'm a Tyson Fury fan. I want Tyson Fury to win, but I wouldn't deny the best fighter on the night, and I think that's how journalists should keep on the fence, really. So yes, I'm a Fury fan, and I quite like Whyte, and I met neither of them, but I like for what they stand for in the sport, and they are both warriors. But for me, all the Whyte fans out there, what I'm going to say now, if I disappoint you, that's just my opinion. I really don't give Dillian Whyte too much chance other than a punch chance. I can't see him beating Tyson Fury to the punch. I think Tyson's trained hard for this. I mean, he'd done a good job on the Bronze Bomber, but he had trouble back home with family, etc. And I don't think we see the best Tyson Fury there by a long way. That's my opinion. Whilst it was a brilliant trilogy fight and all the bits that go with it, I think it was his second-rate performance, bear in mind, that's how good I believe he is, made it a better fight than it could well have been. I think I saw him, you look at people facially and in their eyes, and I've only seen him, I haven't seen him without the shirt off yet, but I've just seen him in a press conference. Facially looks trim and tuned, and I think he's ready for this. He actually says he's left no stone unturned. We know he says a few undercover bits to get to the bottom of, to get to underneath the skin of his opponents, but he says there's no stone unturned. I believe at this time, the fight's obviously staged at home, plenty of time for adjustment, climate, etc, etc, and I think we'll see a good Tyson Fury. I don't believe in none of the retirement rubbish. I think he's going to, you know, let's not jump ahead. Let's just stay in my opinion. I think he will be supreme. He will tie up Whyte. I think it will be a good fight for 3 or 4 rounds, but I can see him bridging a big gap. And very similar to George, my prediction is 7, 8, 9. I think he's going to chisel away at him, wear him down, and I think it's such fighting art that Dillian Whyte has. He will continue, keep going, trying to throw leather, and I think he will tie around rounds 8, 9 and 10, and I'm going for Tyson Fury ahead on points with a stoppage in 8, 9, 10, and fairly comfortable. But don't be surprised if we don't get a few scary moments for Fury from Whyte, because he will be throwing everything, including the kitchen sink. But for me, it's going to be a controlled boxing match. I don't think we're going to see so much sitting down on these punches. I think he'll box, control, tie, chip away and defeat the body snatcher in 8, 9 and 10. Right, anyway, so let's look forward to, thanks for tuning in. Let's have your opinion. That's my opinion, and we'll see how wrong or right I am. Enjoy. Thanks for now.